Greetings and thank you so much and welcome to Ego New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Marco and welcome to the program that speaks to different creatives. And from time to time, we're talking to musicians, we're talking to dancers, to filmmakers, to poets. But today, we're happy to be speaking to a creative who's coming from a different background, completely different side of creativity. She is innovating around an initiative that is impacting so many lives, so many communities, and healing so many hearts and connecting some of us, like me, to my early childhood. Whenever I see them flying kites, I'm reminded of my childhood passion. Welcome to Egrant Suraiya. She's the founder and director of Kites for Peace Project. Welcome to Egrant.
Thank you so much for having me here, Plus.
Thanks a lot. Great. Before we get into the project that you're running and the initiatives that you're involved in, maybe our viewers would want to know who's Suraiya, just a bit about your background.
Okay. Well, I'm born and bred Zimbabwean. I'm still living here. I am an industrial psychologist and I'm a small business owner. I'm a mother. I do organization development consulting, and I'm passionate about the youth and about education. And yeah, that's about me in a nutshell. But I'm also an ex-teacher, so I'm always kind of drawn to children's causes and to the youth.
Wow, great. And your passion and your interest in kites, where was the connection? How did it start?
Well, I think we all grew up with kites, and handmade toys growing up. I remember having an Olive Vinton guitar when I was little, and that the memories of making that toy, it was so much more special than any store-bought toy, and I kind of wanted to bring back that nostalgic, that feeling of simplicity and put value back into things that we create with our own hands, and so that's kind of where the love of kites came into it. It was something that I could do with my children. It was something that was simple and easy and cheap, and we could create something, and we could do something practical and have fun with what we've created. So yeah, but I mean, the love of kites was quite accidental. I mean, I think we all love kites, but the idea of actually flying them was quite special, and the whole story surrounding how I actually got involved in kites, it's quite special and quite serendipitous, like how things aligned and how things progressed from the first time we flew kites to peace.
Wow. And let me take you back to the first year. When was it when you decided to set up Kites for Peace, and why kites and peace? What was the connection? What has been the connection between kites and then creating or fostering peace?
Okay, so when we started, Kites for Peace was actually a world-breaking attempt, world record-breaking attempt that was started by a good friend of mine in the Philippines, and she wanted to break the world records of the number of kites that have been flown simultaneously. Right. So I thought this was a fun thing to do, and we had just come out of winter, and everybody was kind of still like lethargic, and so we went. I organized a picnic at the lake. It was just family and friends. I sent a WhatsApp message to everyone, and I said, "Come, we're going to fly kites, and we're going to have a picnic at the lake." We had about 150 people that year.
Wow.
People just, I think there were. You know how it is, like when you come out of winter and you just like, I need to get out. Yes, I need to. Yes. So I think it was the right time. It was in September, so they quite liked this idea. Anyway, we flew a couple of kites. They didn't break the world record, that year, but it was kind of over. So what she did with that project is she then took it to the schools in the Philippines, and she engaged the schools there to all fly kites, and they completely smashed the record. Um, so that was done, and I thought, well, the picnic was fun, and um, it was so great. We had helium balloons, and people flew kites against the beautiful Lake Chivero sunset, and it was just absolutely such a magical day. And I thought that would have been the end. And then the next year, people were like, "Oh, we're going to fly kites again for Peace Day." And I said, "I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should think about that. We should have a chat." And so we did, but I didn't want to go back to the lake. I had discovered uh, like a mountain climbing, like Dombashawa and Gomukurira. So I discovered that there was some really good wind up there. So we went to the top of Gomukurira. We climbed up there and we flew kites. And we had about half the amount of people. We had, I think, less than 100 people in that year. But again, it was so special. Those bright kites against the Zimbabwean rock, you know.
Yes.
And so it was like, yeah, okay, so we're doing this now every Peace Day. Oh, this is fine. This is fun, you know. But as the year progressed, I thought, it feels like it's missing something. It feels like it's missing an element. All I'm really doing is I'm taking people, gathering people together to have a party, basically, or just to have a fun family day with nothing organized. So I wanted to give it purpose. So in 2016, I invited some friends that I had met on a WhatsApp group, and these people all were running grassroots organizations that were, I mean, basically somebody saying, "Oh, all the kids in my neighborhood don't have toys, so I'm collecting toys for them," or whatever. And I'd invite all of them and say, "Why don't you guys come and sell hot dogs or sell ice cream or sell the drinks?" Because I don't want to do that. But I'd like to give you the opportunity to do that. And while you're doing it, why don't you tell, like, the people who come to fly kites, why don't you tell them what you're doing and what you're fundraising for?
Yes.
And so we had about 15 organizations that first year, and they all brought their friends and their Facebook followers, and our attendance went right up to 1,000 people that year. It was really phenomenal. So that third year, that was 2016, we did that one at Haka Game Park. And then the following year, we did it at Haka Game Park again, and we had 2,000 people.
Wow.
And we had 40 organizations participating that year. And last year, we had over 80 organizations participating in the Kites for Peace event.
Wow.
So, it's definitely grown in impact. And, it was more and more of this, you kind of draw people in with this fun day, fun event.
Yes.
And then while they're there, you kind of say, "Hey, do you know about the Autism Trust? And do you know about this organization that helps children with disabilities?" And so you kind of like sneaking, because let's face it, charity work isn't sexy. It's not something that people like particularly. They're like, "Oh yeah, there's a charity event, let's do it." They kind of do it and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's nice to do," but it's not a sexy event. So we kind of try to bring an element, and we don't want to make it sexy, but we want to make it fun. So children want to come, and obviously their parents bring them, and we try and make something for everybody of every interest, so that it's relevant. And they, as I said, they come in for one thing and then they end up learning and supporting other things at the same time. So it's not really a charity event. It's more of a kite festival, peace festival. And yeah, so the impact is growing. In 2017, we did Haka Game Park. In 2018, we went to Stephen Margolis Resort, that near Visa. And then last year we did the Botanical Gardens, which is in town. So every year we kind of move, we
Wow.
move
So,
in.
but looking back, do you have a sense of accomplishment from where it was started up to now? Do you feel there is growth in the project?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when we started, I had no intention of it being a movement.
Okay, great.
It kind of grew organically. And to use a metaphor, the people were the wind beneath it. Um,
Powerful.
yeah, the people were the ones saying, um, we want we want food, we want this. What about music? What about other
Yes.
entertainment? What about other things other than kite flying? And so in that way, we were kind of responding to what people were wanting to see
Yes.
in an event like this, where they kind of felt like they could have input. So a lot of other organized events, it's either like it's just one thing, or it's one fun day. You either doing a
Yes.
color run, doing, but with this, they kind of felt that we could give input and maybe it would be included. And so that's how we started including musicians and artists, visual artists.
Yes.
We've had a poetry corner for 2 years running now, which has been hugely successful.
Yes.
We've had the skateboarding, Skate Zimbabwe, as you know, they're like
Thank you for that.
they're, they're such a hit. But I mean, we're not exclusively about kite flying. We're not only trying to promote kite flying, we're trying to promote recreation, and we're trying to promote people finding their inner peace. Now, when I say inner peace, a lot of people think, she's a tree hugger, she's a hippie, you know. Um, so I don't want to get too esoteric about it, but um, when people talk about the bigger picture of a perfect world, or
Yes.
um, a global peace, or, we things are as they should be, or things are
Yes.
good. They talk about the bigger picture, and I look at what we're doing as the paintbrush, because
Yes.
the paintbrush is made of individual bristles, and each bristle is a person. It's an individual,
Oh,
and
powerful.
people are what paint the picture, right?
Wow.
So the world is made up of people, it's made up of individuals. So yes, this person might be a president, and this person might be a minister, and she might be whatever it is, they're still individuals. We still need to meet them at an individual level, at a personal level, and say, how are you doing? What are you, when you close your eyes at night, um, what do you feel what is important to you, you know
Yes.
and yeah, I think once we start personifying people and organizations. An organization is not just an entity. An
Yes.
organization is made up of individuals. A government is made up
Yes.
of individuals. Every group is made up of individuals. And so when we can appeal to people on an individual level, then I think that kind of builds the picture that we want of this ideal world,
Yes.
so
Wow.
yeah.
Great. And do you get some testimonies from people that find healing, that find comfort, that can find peace from their experience flying and making kites?
Absolutely. I mean, we have people, again, like I said, it's nostalgic. So a lot of people who are making kites with their kids nowadays, we've just had a school competition, and I
Okay.
had parents um, send send us messages saying, I felt so good to make a kite again. I haven't made a kite in 30 years,
I can
you know.
imagine.
Yeah. So like the parent is feeling good, the child is feeling good because they're doing an activity with mom or dad, and then they've suddenly got something that they've made, and this thing is actually, it's flying, it's actually working,
True.
and it's high. There's something about the sky that just, I don't know, it appeals to kids. Kids love things that fly and move, and it's, yeah, it's kind of it's a very romantic idea. But yeah, so on that level, on the community level, absolutely. um we recently had the I Am Mbari organization.
Yes.
They flew kites every single day last week. With the, it was all socially distanced, and they went into the stadium and kids flew kites, and they said it was a really good time. These children just, and you can hear in the videos, you can hear the squeals, and they delighted. They're absolutely delighted. And I mean, we haven't given them something expensive. We
Yes.
haven't given them something flashy. We've given them a piece of paper at the end of a string. And yet they're so thrilled with it. So the thing with the gift about kite flying is it's so easy, it's so accessible to everybody. And yeah, it kind of gives them that sense of wonder, that sense of enjoyment, and
Yes.
and play. I think a lot of children have forgotten how to play.
Yes.
Um,
They're
you
spending
know,
much time on the computer, on TVs and stuff.
exactly. And if you ask them, what do you want to do? What activity, what treat do you want to do? They'll say, can I have an extra 30 minutes of playing my game? It's not like, oh, can we go outside and play soccer ball, or can you take me for a bike ride? So again, it's about encouraging that outdoor, that and I think so that's for children, and it's pretty obvious. But also for adults, I think, and I get a lot of flack for this, but again, it's we have forgotten how to play, you
True.
know.
I
Um,
agree too.
yeah, we have forgotten how to play. We have forgotten how to express ourselves using our bodies. We've forgotten how to have fun. A lot of people, you ask them, what do you do for fun? Oh, I go out drinking on the weekend with my friends, and that's it. And you're like, what do you do? Oh no, we just sit around and we chat. And you're like, yeah, but what do you do? um, so yeah, a lot of people have forgotten how to play, and how to dance, and how to sing, and how to make music, and how to, you don't have to be great at it. You don't have to be great at anything, but you should enjoy things, and you work so hard to make a living that you need little pockets of life. You need little pockets of joy, and
Yes.
you need to make memories for yourself, and you need to make memories for your children, because um and I know this myself, because when I have dark moments, and I have dark, I have sadness, or I'm feeling down.
Yes.
I remember that the love that I was shown as a child, the time my parents gave me,
Yes.
uh, the fun, simple times I had riding my bicycle, flying my kite, or playing with my other Veen guitar. So I think creating those moments are very important, and it goes beyond the event. So the event is just an example of what you can do yourself.
Well, this is great. I feel challenged. I think after this, I'm really going to explore quite a lot, because I feel there's so much that we're not doing. We easily become machines, and then we just function in a certain way, and
Yeah,
we lose the essence of just living and enjoying life. Um,
yeah.
Kites for Peace has been involved in supporting a number of charity institutions, and I noticed that you are heavily involved with a cancer association. Could you maybe just give us a bit of information with regard to that?
Okay, so what happened in 2016, when we invited those 15 charities, is a lot of them had never met each other. And at the event, they interacted with each other, and they were like, "Wow, it's so great to meet you." And oh yeah, we should work together on this.
Yes.
We work in the same area, maybe collaborate. And so that's when the Zimbabwe Cares Network really kind of took hold. So the Zimbabwe Cares Network then became a project of Kites for Peace.
Right.
And we were connecting one charity to another, and it kind of grew. So we had about 15 to 20 that year, and we currently have 140 member organizations of the Zimbabwe Cares Network that are all they all support each other. They all advise each other. They share information. They share opportunities. And it's a great database for donors. So if a donor comes to us and says, we want to sponsor a green initiative, somebody who's doing in an organization that's doing recycling, then we know immediately who to connect them to. And that works on every level. So from corporate level to individuals who want to give contributions. So in that way, that's how we support these organizations, is through the networking of other of between organizations. That's primarily how we assist them. So our assistance really isn't financial. It's more of opportunity based, and
Okay,
we
great.
provide the physical platform at the event, which is a free attendance. They can come and they can do whatever they want to. And also we have the social media platform, which they're free to use to say, we're having an event this week, or we're fundraising, we're having a raffle, whatever it is. They're free to use that platform. So yeah, we support 140 organizations, which is, it's pretty good. It's very rewarding, and what's so rewarding is to see they're all Zimbabwean, and how much love and support they have, and respect that they have for each other. There's no such thing as, we're more important than you, because we're taking care of sick people and you're only taking care of, I don't know, of animals or whatever. There's no category of who's more important. Everybody plugs in together. It's really a little ideal community. We there's that unity, which is, it's really, it amazes me every day.
Awesome. And fast forward 2020, COVID strikes and affects your plans to host the 2020 edition of the Kites for Peace Festival. But undeterred, you decided to go virtual, which was quite an interesting thing to do. I was thinking in my head, like, how do you fly kites virtually? How is this going to happen? But you managed to do it, and you did it so well. And then you also had an educational program that you included in the program. Just tell us a bit about the experience and how you did the festival this year.
I think every single year I'm like, I can't do it, or we're not going to do it this year, or there's too many obstacles, and somehow again, some kind of wind that just lifts it. So it was really kind of spur of the moment. I decided we're going to do it. And like I said earlier, the actual physical event itself, it's just it's an example of what you should be doing every month or fortnightly. So you'll come to my Kite for Peace festival, and you'll say, hey, that was really great. Like, we should go every second weekend. We should go to the lake, or we should go to the park, or we should go, and we should just do something fun. Pack a picnic, fly kites, skateboard, whatever, anything that makes us happy. dance, whatever you want to do. You should do that once a week or once every 2 weeks. We should do this. Do it with the kids. Let's do it by ourselves. And just have fun, just have one afternoon a week where you just completely just chilling and having time that makes you happy. So the event is meant to inspire that all year round. So I thought, well, why don't we do that and inspire people to fly kites on their own, or to skateboard on their own, or to go to the lake and have a picnic and dance on their own. You don't need an organized event.
Great.
You don't need a crowd of people to have fun with your family, with your friends. And so I think this year was really proof of that, because a lot of people are always like, oh, there's an event, let's go, and they're going to give us the fun. And so with this year, it was like, let's go and find our own fun, which I think was quite important. And yeah, we got a great response. We got about over 200 entrants. Of people, worldwide, of people flying kites, fishing, baking, dancing, singing, just lot playing with their dogs, their pets, and just having a good time this last weekend. And I told them, whatever you're doing, take a photo and send it to us, and inspire us and everyone else. And yeah, people didn't disappoint. They really did. They really didn't. I think the idea was, I think people got the idea, which I term as success.
Wow. Wow, congratulations. That was quite impressive. And it's really encouraging to see how you've soldiered on and defied many challenges. But are there certain times or specific events or happenings that it gave you the thought of, oh, maybe let me quit? I know you've mentioned that it has not been easy to host, but is there a moment where you thought, okay, look, this is it, this is the end of it? And what was that experience?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think as much as anyone, any event organizer, how challenging it is to host an event in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Every year comes with new challenges. And yeah, I think just about every year I'm just like, okay, we've done it. And I think maybe, I'm tired. Like, I think maybe it's time to just let it go or let it rest for a little while. But as the irony is, as our situation here gets worse, and it has progressively gotten worse, there seems to be more of a need. Our suicide rates are up. People are more depressed than ever. And people are just generally, I don't know if apathy is the right word, but they're just jaded. People are tired, and they're looking for little bursts of happiness, and they're looking for inspiration. And I mean, that's our message is, sure go out and have fun with your family, relax. That's a very prophylactic way of looking at mental health. Obviously, we're not saying that we're therapizing people, but we're certainly giving them little shreds of light. And I think also people feel appreciate that they feel better when they help others. So like I said, as the situation worsened in Zimbabwe, there became more need. There became more hungry people, more people who needed medication. So as that need grew, the need for events and platforms like this became ever more important. And so it was like, we actually can't quit this year, because actually this year it's really
There's
needed.
more need.
Exactly. So I think our main problem in hosting in the event has been the economic situation. It's been incredibly expensive. It's so difficult to budget. Prices change, the exchange rate changes, the rules, the goalposts keep shifting. You don't really know what your ticket price is going to be, and yeah, it's very stressful. The whole situation, and I think that is our main challenge is the economic situation here. But it is very tiring to kind of, it's not an ideal, it's not a conducive environment to do anything really, to run a business, to host an event. And I'm sure my fellow event organizers will agree with me that it's it's a mammoth task, and yeah. So I would say the economy is the hardest part, and also just that lack of support from. I mean, we get a lot of support from our fellow creatives and fellow organizations, but I think lack of support from, I mean, last year we did it at Botanical Gardens. It would have been great if we had gotten that venue perhaps subsidized, or just a little bit of hand in glove kind of support. I think yeah, sometimes I think that we're not ready, but then I see the outcomes, and I see all the talent that comes, and I see all the happy people that come, and I see the amount of support, and I think actually we as a people we're really ready, and we're really bright for this. This is needed, and it's time for this. There really is a need for this. So yeah, so we don't give up. We Yeah, we can rest, but we can't give up.
That's powerful there, and thank you so much. We don't give up, despite the hardships and the challenges that Zimbabwe continues to go through. I think one thing that defines Zimbabwe and Zimbabweans in general is the spirit of resilience. We always find a way, even in the midst of many challenges. There's always something that brings hope. So when I saw the event going ahead virtually, it sort of reignited hope in me and made me see that actually there are people that are still dreaming when it's too dark like this. So thank you so much for inspiring many people. I hope I'm not the only one who is inspired. There are many of them that one day will come forth and say, your event, your project did inspire.
Thank you so much for that, and always for your continued encouragement. Yeah, we kind of, like I said, it's the wind beneath our kite. That encouragement, and to see that it actually has hope. But even if it's given hope to just one person, I mean, one person like you, it's amazing. That's that helps us fly. So yeah, I thank you so much for that.
Great. Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching. My name is Plot Mark. I've been speaking there to Suraiya, who is the founder and the director of the Kites for Peace Project, which is a project that has been happening for a couple of years now. They run an annual festival, but in between they have a number of initiatives that are connected to social impact, working in communities like Mbare, working in schools and various communities. And the project is also involved with an association and network for young people living with cancer. And thank you so much for the support. How do people get in touch with you if they want to support the initiative, if they want to be part of the movement?
Okay, so you can find us, you can connect with us on our website, www.flykitesforpeace.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Kites for Peace Zimbabwe, or on Instagram.
Wow. Great. Okay. Thank you so much. You heard it there. It's been great having you on the program, and I really appreciate your time that you had to tell us a lot, not just about your story, but also of the great work that you're doing in Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much.
Great. To everybody who's watching, this program is called Ground Impact, where we're focusing on initiatives that are connected to the creative arts, but they're making an impact in schools and communities and in Zimbabwe in general. So until next time, stay tuned. Out. Great.
Was I in?